Earth Machine shakes up the Austria Open. This is amazing to actually see. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. The Austria Open. Now, this is so very interesting to see because when you're looking at the way that the meta is right now for Limbo, it's I don't know, to see things look this diverse across the board when every single deck here is a one of. It definitely shows that the meta feels a little bit more, I would say, fair, fun, exciting, and just that. Now, winning this event was actually the power of Centurion, and I'm not all that surprised, honestly, to see that Centurion was able to kind of overcome this. I feel like a lot of people still are not really used to the Calamity Lock and trying to stop it. So you can have a deck like this kind of come out of nowhere here and sweep up a lot of the competition. The rest of your meta, like I said, this is all one-ofs. This looks very good. One of Rescue Ace, one of Fire King, your standard meta contenders out here. You know, we're pretty used to seeing these decks kind of stepping on into the light and doing their thing, so not all that surprised. Now, interesting little side notes here. We also had Chimera branded. I didn't think that we would still see as much of that as we actually have, but Chimera branded has definitely been gaining a little bit more traction and showcasing that, you know, hey, this deck's still doing well. We also had our Purely Duelist out here. You know what? I'll say it. All right. I'm not surprised. We also had branded, so you had a pure branded variant and a Chimera branded variant doing their things. We also had Flaunderies. Ooh, you know, it is what it is. I feel like at this point that the birds are still kind of doing the same thing out here. And then, of course, Earth Machine. You know, when you look at how well a meta can actually be, granted, I mean, this is, you know, Austria. I know somebody's going to complain about where the event was located and be like, well, this isn't a good representation, but this proves that you can have a good meta and actually have things even out. Now, obviously, change is coming here. And, of course, the Centurion can't actually handle the meta. Well, Centurion can handle the meta just fine. King Calamity is one of the best goddamn cards that has been printed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just to say no to your opponent. Let's pass on over to those deck lists, shall we? Now, this is the kind of stuff that I do like to see here, where Centurion with the Horus package just kind of steps on into the meta out here and goes, you know what? We can do something. Also, don't underestimate the fact that, you know, you're able just to change a Horus monster with your Primera, and then congratulations, you've set up your first level 12. I think it's one thing a lot of people kind of underestimate is like, you know, they're like, oh, you don't need the Horus package. I really do think that you do. Like, yeah, maybe you can't afford your discard outlet, or, you know, it might be a little bit painful to do, but, you know, you only need one of these with the King Sarcophagus for the reload on up. Now, post-side decking, I see that we are playing a Gravekeeper's Inscription down here. This can be hit or miss, especially right now in the meta. But let's be honest here. Making sure that your opponent, you know, gets punished by this, you also have to see this in your opening hand, which is my first always kind of disappointment with this. This deck doesn't play any immediate draw power, which, I mean, is fine. You've just got to make sure that you can see this. Hey, look, we also have some other unfun cards to be able to do. I love placing my monsters as trap cards. And then, of course, just the triple talents. So you have no thrust, none of that extra little fat along the way. I think this looks pretty good. All right. Hello, Rescue Ace Fire King. Once again, this has been the build that, you know, Pack presented the idea to the community that, you know, we can use the Fire King Kieran as, you know, an interruption package to kind of set on up and punish the opponent. And then, of course, the Rescue Ace stuff, guess what the Rescue Ace stuff does? It does the full set, you know, 4 back row. Now, not only do you have an interruptible hand trap in your hand, thank you, Kieran, for the pop. And you've also got, you know, your opponent trying to play through all of the little obstacles and hoops that you've set up on the field. That's what makes this deck into, like, this very scary monster. And I wonder if the TCG will find a way to evolve this, especially as we kind of go forward here into the future innovation lines of this, I'm curious. Also, shout out to Enemy Controller down here. Even now, especially in this format, Econ feels a little bit more of a miss, but it is really nice to still see this doing well. All right. Hi. This is our branded Chimera package, and I will say that it has been, I've loved the fact that Master Tau has just moved on into this deck and has just been a massive mainstay along the way as just your one additional little piece. Now, we do get the candle in the next set. I am curious to know if the TCG versions are going to choose to play him. He's a very cute card for what it wants to do. Also, do keep in mind that because we are doing more of this, you get some little cheesier interactions. We are playing the Light Hex Seal Fusion in here. So we chose to do the Light Hex Seal Fusion instead of the Dark Magician to make this. Okay, I guess. Double Chimera Fusion, double actual poly. The fact that they're actually playing hard polymerization in here to make some of these monsters, I find that kind of interesting, actually. Maybe there'd be a situation where you actually do need to roll out like an actual hard poly or, something along that. But okay, interesting. We also have the crossouts down here on the side. They weren't even worth maining. Think about that. All right, how your meta has actually changed. All right, what else we got back here? This is our Earth machine stuff, and yes, we are playing Vernal Sifts in here. The first thing that you need to consider when you're looking at any of these gosh darn lists, please consider the little bits and pieces that, discarding this and another Vernal Sift to send blah, blah, blah from your deck to the graveyard, one Earth monster that can be normal summoned or set, then you can special summon an Earth monster from your graveyard. You heard me read that correctly, do you, right? That special summons an Earth monster, and, please, this is what I'm talking about. These free little Monster Reborn pieces, giving you the chance to kind of dump off some of the little fat, get the little free extensions up and running, actually can save this deck from being very, very strong. And of course, hey, look, another deck that can actually play Skill Drain in the meta. Let's call it what it is at this point in time. Skill draining your opponent, having them look at you straight in the eyes and go, yeah, I actually hate this game. Yeah, I do too some days. Floodgates, very, very fun. All right. Especially, once you've got, where's Mr. 4500? When you got Mr. 4600 attack points up and running over here, your opponent's not going to be able to do anything with this. All right. It's the strong points that count. Flaunderies. All right. Well, somebody chose not to play the one of in the main deck. I'm not upset. I'm a little bit hurt, actually, that, you don't get to see the cheese one of. We're also not playing Thrust in here anywhere. Nope. There's no Thrust on the entirety of this list. They just chose not to need it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. We are playing the one Samorg, the Bird of Perfection. I feel like that's been more normal as of late as well, that you do see that more people want to make sure that they can have this. Hey! We also have evenly matches in here as well. When Flounder gets the chance to go second and then just blow off your entire field because of this, also remember, people said that Flounder would never be another competent deck again because no barrier statue. I'd like to give a shout out to this card and this card for allowing this deck to blink full turns and still do their thing. Also, only double End Pen, one Apex, and the one Megariza. The ratios are 100% good. And our last list out of this event, holy crap, 57 cards in the main deck. Whew, you know what? We just not find anything to put in the last 3 slots? Or were we just feeling dangerous today with wanting to try out some of these different ratios? But you know what? It worked out. All right, they were able to make top cut here. Also, I've been noticing as these builds kind of extend out more of these ratios, you do see that the triple allure has been coming up a little bit more. The Sift options, I think, can definitely help you out here. And of course, we have Guiltia, the super poly target of fun. And of course, the one branded banishment in the side deck. I like what I'm seeing out of this event. This opens up some interesting fun doors. Not everything is going to be the most meta. Other builds are just going to make you question how the meta is. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.